Welcome to River City Plus. This is the show after the show, and I'm Eden. Now, this is not rants, and this is somebody that you might be familiar seeing me sit next to, though. It's Christine Stone of Neatly Designed. She is a professional organizer. She also happens to be my podcast partner.
Yep.
And she is in the building today because we're going to be recording a couple of episodes of our podcast, which is geared toward women over 50.
Yes.
So if you are a woman over 50, this is just a little sneak peek of the kind of conversations that we have. And we thought, well, you know what? We're getting ready to record 2 episodes.
Yes.
We may as well use this as a planning session, if you will.
Right, on what we talk about and how we get ready.
How we do, exactly. So the reason we felt years ago that this could be a really important thing to do, have a podcast for women over 50. It actually started with Christine's idea because there were a lot of things that you would not expect to be having conversations about, and yet they're all you want to talk about.
Everybody wanted to talk about it if you were over 50.
And those things are menopause, invisibility, feeling like people aren't paying the attention to you that they used to.
The empty nest.
The empty nest, the loneliness,
Yeah,
the difficulty
loneliness.
making new friends. Some other symptoms are
Relationships. Marriage later in life when you've been married a really long time. I mean, we cover it all.
Dating later in
Yeah,
life.
dating later in life. We've watched a lot of The Golden Bachelor.
The Golden Bachelor and also The Later Daters,
Yes,
which
the
is
Later
Netflix.
Dater I watch too.
So we have a lot to cover, and it's been a little over 2 years now that we've been doing that. Yeah, it has. And we have not yet run out of topics. So today we're going to talk about 2 things. Mel Robbins' The Let Them book. And then also we always try to squeeze in at least 1 episode a month where we really get into organization because Christine is a professional organizer and I'm so disorganized that we thought that would be a good contrast for you to be able to enjoy her tips while you're listening to them with somebody who doesn't already know them.
Well, also later in life when people are older, a lot of it has to do with downsizing.
Right.
And purging because you don't have the room that you maybe once had when you had a younger family, a bigger house. So people love to hear what to do with all your stuff.
Yeah, exactly. So speaking of all that stuff, we want to give a shout out to Armoire, which they are a clothing rental service, and we're both wearing clothes from Armoire right now. They reached out to us and they were like, hey, speaking of keeping your closet organized, when you do clothing rental services, your closet stays emptier because you're rotating things in and out. And that what they do is, I'll even show you because I'm sending my bag back today. You get all your outfits in this bag that you select, and then it comes with shipping label and everything. It's really easy.
Super easy.
And they even send you your new stuff before they even receive back your old stuff, which doesn't usually happen in the rental game.
Right.
So I love that too.
Yeah, and they got me to wear red. So what does that tell you? I never wear red.
Our friend George Brescia,
Yes.
the fashion icon George Brescia, would love to see that. But what I think is great about that with the whole rental idea is you wouldn't wear red normally, but because there was no risk involved because you're renting it and it's one of several outfits you're going to be receiving, red is fine. If you don't like it, don't wear it. Send it back.
I love that though because I would never have purchased something red. So you're right. And actually, I kind of like it.
I like it on you. I noticed you put you have that jacket that you pair with everything. You call it your butt jacket.
I call it the butt wrap.
The butt wrap jacket because she'll take it off and put it around her
Yep.
her butt when it gets a little warmer. So that's a good look right there. I really love that.
Yeah.
And I really appreciate the fact that they stepped up to us and they were like, we love what you're doing.
Right.
You're supporting women over 50. Of course, their customers are all ages, but I thought that was really cool. So thank you to those guys. And let's talk about wearing red. It is February now, which is Heart Health Month. So even though Valentine's Day is what you first think of when you think of red and February, think of heart health. The symptoms for women are different than the symptoms for a man with a heart attack.
Yep.
So
and women often ignore them because they don't want to bother anybody.
Right.
You know what I mean? They're like, oh, it's nothing. I'll be fine. And by the time they get to a doctor, it's serious because women are just caretakers and they're used to taking care of everyone but themselves.
That is so true. That is so, so true.
So
as I mentioned, today we're recording some episodes, one being about the Mel Robbins book, Let Them. And I know our anchor, Melanie, is reading that book as well. So she brought that up to me the other day. And I think 50% of all the women I've talked to in the past month have either received it for Christmas or gifted it for Christmas.
yeah, I gave it to my daughter for Christmas.
So this book is about how you can approach everything in your life, whether it be your work situation, your relationships, your friendships, with an attitude of, hey, let them. They want to be angry with me over something I said that I still stand by. Let them.
Mm-hmm.
They want to go out without inviting me. Let them. And while it sounds like that sums up the whole premise, there was a lot more to it.
A lot more to it. Yeah.
So we're going to go over that in our podcast today. And then we're also going to talk about, on our organizational episode, purge parties.
Yes.
So I brought this up because I saw it on a video on Instagram or TikTok, and then you did the research, as you do.
Yes.
What's a purge party?
Where you gather all the stuff you no longer want. You get your girlfriends, invite as many people as you want, and the main goal is they just come and take what they want.
Now, does everybody purge, or is just the host
No,
gets
just the host.
Okay, so
At
you might
least
rotate
that's the
them.
one I read.
Yeah, because that would be a mess if everyone brought their
No,
things.
it's just your items, and you sent out, I guess, a group text saying, I'm having a purge party. Come and take what you want. And I thought, I even posted on my stories because I thought that is a fantastic idea to get rid of your stuff. Because what you may not want anymore, somebody else may really love.
But, you've even mentioned this in other episodes. Sometimes you don't get rid of something because you just can't part with it. It was expensive. It was something that used to look great on you. And you can't see just donating it. But you could see gifting it to someone and then knowing that they're going to enjoy it. Now, it's still going to happen that way if you donate it, but sometimes we just can't wrap our brain around that. So if it helps you to give away something you might have held on to for an extra year, because now you know your best friend is going to have it, or your sister, I think that's going to help kind of push you to purge more.
And also, it's different than a garage sale or an estate sale. You're only inviting your friends, which I like that, because it's different having friends come and take things than a bunch of strangers.
Yes.
So I really loved that.
Yeah, so we're going to talk about that. We're also going to talk about something called intentional clutter. And the reason I love this is sometimes when people have a lot of knickknacks, the reason they do it is because they're viewing it as decor. It's not just that they've collected all of these things over the years and now everything has to be out. Sometimes people just really want to display their items, but do it in a way that kind of seems like clutter. So intentional clutter makes it not look like clutter.
Yeah,
if it's me doing it, it comes out looking cluttery.
Right. And that's why we're talking about it, because there's such a difference in doing intentional clutter and like the Nancy Myers effect, I call it, versus bringing in warmth and surrounding yourself in your home with the things that you absolutely love and displaying it in a way that isn't looking like your house is full of clutter.
What does that mean, the Nancy Myers effect?
Well, I don't know if you ever saw It's Complicated, Something's Gotta Give, Father of the Bride. She did all the sets.
Okay.
And so people emulated they wanted a house like that. They wanted their house to feel like that. They wanted that experience because it brings a house to feel very warm and cozy.
So all the photos out
Everything.
and everything's on the walls, but when you do that, you do run the risk of it looking crowded.
Right. And so a lot, especially on TikTok, there's a lot going on right now because people are going back to that. You know how styles come in and they go out. So there's so much on Instagram and TikTok about Nancy Myers' way of styling sets and how you can style your own home that way so it doesn't look cluttered, but it gives you the warmth that you're trying to achieve.
Okay. So intentional clutter, we're going to talk about that. And purge parties, let them. And as I mentioned, we never run out of topics, but if you had one that you wanted to share, if you're watching us right now and you're like, Uncluttered and Unfiltered, I've never even heard of such a podcast, the way you can access it is anywhere you listen to podcasts, of course. Also, we have a Facebook group that is open to anybody. who is a female over 50, or if you just feel like, hey, I'm 48 and I kind of want to just get in the club early, that's okay. We're not checking IDs at the door in any way, shape, or form. But it's called Ladies, Uncluttered and Unfiltered is ladies only.
Right.
And so that's the one where you actually have to click so you can join us.
Yep.
So it's a lot of fun. It's been a lot of fun, and we've been able to collaborate quite a bit. When we get into that book, the Let Them book, the other book we're going to be talking about down the road, and neither of us have time to read it yet, is the Brooke Shields book. So that's one. And then the other actress that
Naomi Watts.
Naomi Watts. So this is what's so funny. We're going to talk about this in our podcast. But when we started talking about these books, Christine got super nervous thinking I meant that I literally read them, but I listened to these books. So you may not be a book reader, but as long as you're a book listener, you'll be able to be a part of these reviews that we're going to be doing. Anyway, we're going to go so that we can start recording our episodes. In the meantime, we hope you will find us. And of course, we will see you tomorrow at 9:30 on River City Live.